Hello friends, in this video we will understand important properties of ones complement and twos complement numbers, and on this property we will take one gate problem also. Let us begin. There are two important properties of ones as well as twos complement numbers, that is, whenever you do a left shift in a given signed number represented either in ones complement or twos complement, the number gets multiplied by 2, and whenever you do right shift keeping ms bits same, then you get divide by 2 effect. What I said may not be clear until and unless we start with the real example. Let's begin with the first property, that is divide by 2 property. So let me tell you, divide by 2 effect comes whenever you do right shift keeping MSB unchanged. So I'll tell you reason why we are keeping MSB unchanged, because MSB indicates sign. If it is 1, it indicates it's a negative number. If it is 0, it indicates it is positive number. It's very simple. For example, you have a number, let's say -6, and if you divide by 2, what answer you get? You get answer as 3 or -3. Of course, you get answer as -3, meaning that sign of the number doesn't change even if you divide by 2. I hope you understood that. So let's perform this right shift and let's see, keeping MSB unchanged, how it gives you divide by 2 effect just by a right shift. So let me take an example, -12, and let's say if I want to represent this -12 in binary, how do we do that? Using 2's complement method. Okay, using 2's complement method. So here I'm going to take an example of 2's complement number. Let me tell you, this property is applicable in fact for 1's complement also. I'm taking an example of 2's complement, that's it. So let's say we have -12 to the base 10, and how do we represent that? So you know the technique, that is a shortcut technique that I have explained. Just write binary weights like this: 1, 2, 4, 8, -16. Am I right? So -16 plus 4, if you do, you will get -12. The rest of the bits are represented as 0, right? So this indicates -12. So let me write this properly. Now I'm going to perform right shift property, or I'm going to apply right shift here. How do we do that? Very simple. Let's say if the whole number gets shifted to right, so what will happen? This 1 gets shifted here, this 0 gets shifted here, this 1 gets shifted here, this 0 gets shifted here, and this gets vanished. Okay, so this will be, out of the frame now. So let's write the new number now. So this 1 gets shifted here, so we will have 1 here. This 0 gets shifted here, so we will have 0 here. Then this 1 gets shifted here, so we will have 1 here, and this 2 gets shifted here, so we will have 0 here, right? But the rule says keeping MSB unchanged, meaning that whatever MSB that we have shifted here, same MSB we have to copy here, so as to keep MSB same. I hope you understood this. So let us see what the number is. So -16, because we have 1 below -16, then we have 1 below 8 plus 8, then we have 1 below 2 plus 2. What it is going to give you? Of course it is -6, right? So what we have number as -6 to the base 10. See, you haven't divided by 2. What you have done is right shift. That is, you have shifted every bits of the given binary number to right by 1 bit, keeping MSB same. Okay, shifting this LSB out of the frame. Whatever number you have, you will see the magic. This number got literally divided by 2. So on binary level, what you did is right shift. What you did is right shift. And what happened with decimal number? What you have seen, it gets divided by 2. This is the property what I'm talking about. Let's have one more right shift, then you will understand it better. So let's say if I do one more shift, what will happen? this MSB gets shifted here, this 1 gets shifted here, this 0 gets shifted here, this 1 gets shifted here, and then this 0 vanishes again, keeping MSB same. So let's copy this 1 again over here. So look at where we have ones, look at their binary weights. So they are present at -16, then 8, then there is one more 1, that is 4, and one more that is below 1. If you add all of them, you'll get answer as -3, right? So this is -3 to the base 10. So what you did in binary, right shift. What happened in decimal, you'll see effect. Again, it is divided by 2. So when finary number is not divisible by 2, don't again try to divide by 2. Then you will get some abrupt answers, okay? So just stop the property or stop applying, right shift property if the final number of the given decimal number is not divisible by 2. So you can do those experiments only when it is divisible by 2, because we are not going to use floating point numbers. So let's see the next property, that is left shift by 2 or multiply by 2 property. Now the thing is, how do we get multiplication effect? Exactly, maybe you must have recognized it. If shifting number to the right position by 1 bit divides number by 2, then let's shift those numbers to the left by 1 bit. It is going to multiply by 2. Let's see. So whenever you do left shift, what will happen? If you remember, during right shifts, there is a vacancy at MSB. But then you knew that MSB you have to return every time. That's you have to avoid when you are multiplying by 2 or whenever you are having left shift. So you'll understand it better when I'll start with example. But then to give you an idea, whenever you do a left shift, a vacancy is always created at the rightmost position, that is at LSB side. Then you have to do a 0 padding. So second step, what I'm writing, do 0 padding or padding of zeros at LSB at every shift. So you may not understand these 2 points until and unless we start with an example. So let's begin with an example. So I'll start with the minimum number, let's say -3. And how do we represent -3? See, using binary 1, 2, 4, 8, -16. Let me write 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. If you add all the binary weights where 1 is present, you will get -3 to the base 10. Fine. Now let's apply this property, that is left shift property. Very simple. See, because of the left shift, this 1 will come here, this 1 will get vanished, okay? This 1 will come here, this 0 comes here, this 1 comes here, and we have a vacancy LSB. Okay, we have vacancy at LSB. That's the reason why I'm having second step, do 0 padding or padding of zeros, okay, at LSB. That is nothing but LSB where vacancy is created, I'm going to have extra 0. I hope you understood this. Now let's see what number you get. -16 plus 8, -8. -8 plus 2 is -6. Now see the magic. This number got multiplied by 2, but your intention was to only left shift it, but in reality what happened? It just got multiplied by 2. That's the property, right? Now, again if I do a left shift in a similar way, so this MSB is again vanished. So this one comes here, this 0 comes here, this 1 comes here, this 0 comes here, and again we have vacancy. We do padding of zeros, am I right? Then -16 plus 4 is -12. See to this, again this got multiplied by 2. I hope you understood this property. So doing right shift, keeping MSB to be retained, you get divide by 2 effect. shifting the given binary numbers, of course in signed category, whether it is 1's complement or 2's complement. As I said, even here I have taken an example of 2's complement. You can try yourself by taking 1's complement number and apply this property. These properties works, okay? But then you have to always keep in mind, doing right shifting, you have to always return MSB, and while in left shift you have to always fill vacanted LSBs with 0. That is, you have to do padding of zeros. So by knowing this property, let's start with one example. So what question says is x and y are number of distinct integral represented by 2's complement form and signed magnitude form respectively. Then what is x minus y? Okay, so let's understand this. So by reading the question you will understand x means number of distinct integral using 2's complement method or 2's complement form, and y is again the same formation, so I'm not going to write it again. So number of distinct integral using sign magnitude form. SM stands for sign magnitude form. Then what it says, what is x minus y? So let us recall 2's complement method. So you know that if let's say it is n bit, then you know how to write the range, that is minus of 2 raised to n minus 1 to positive of 2 raised to n minus 1 minus 1. So we know that this indicates the maximum negative number and this indicates the maximum positive number. So for example, let us assume n equal to 3. So if I assume n equal to 3, now what is going to happen? With n equal to 3, okay, 3 minus 1 will be 2. So 2 raised to 2 will be 4, okay? So it is minus 4 to positive 3 is the range. This is for 2's complement using n equal to 3. Whereas, let's say for sign magnitude form, if I'm talking about, you know that the range is given like this, minus of 2 raised to n minus 1 minus 1 to positive of 2 raised to n minus 1 minus 1. So again, taking same example, that is n equal to 3 here also, then it will go from minus 3 to plus 3. Okay, I hope you understood. Just substitute n value equal to 3 here and just get the range, right? So it is going from minus 3 to 3 for sign magnitude form and minus 4 to positive 3 for 2's complement form. So again, I'll come back to this question, okay? So as we know, for n equal to 4, for 2's complement, we have the range from minus 8 to plus 7. Am I right? So it goes this way, minus 8, comma minus 7, then we have minus 6, and we go up to, let's say, minus 1. So again, this range what we have taken is for n equal to 4, it is okay, but we have taken an example of n equal to 3. So we will just roll back and we will correct this for n equal to 3. So the example that I had taken for n equal to 4, but since we have taken on previous slide as n equal to 3, so we'll stick to the same one. So for 2's complement method, we have seen for n equal to 3, it goes from minus 4 to plus 3, right? So let me write minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. Then we have 0, 1, 2, 3. Am I right? This is what we have in 2's complement form. Whereas in sign magnitude form, we have the range from minus 3 to plus 3, right? So it starts with like this, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, minus 0, plus 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. So here I have not written plus, but it means the same, right? Now let's count these digits, okay? Let's count the digits. Now if you just see how many negative numbers we have four negative numbers, and rest of the numbers we will say, you know, let us not include 0, but to count 1 2 3 as how many 3, and plus extra digit 0. Okay, so overall if you see 4 plus 1 5 and 5 plus 3 it is 8. So there are total 8 digits. Okay, there are total 8, I would say, rather distinct digits. Distinct digits means digits which never repeats. Okay, like we have 0 here, then this 0 is never repeated, then we have plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, then we have minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4. So all of them are non-repeated, so number of distinct digits are 8 here. All negative numbers, if you see, this is 3, and these are positive numbers, right? 1 2 3, these are 3. Now let's talk about 0. You know that 0 is neither positive nor negative in reality. So we have to consider this minus 0 and plus 0 as only one digit, right? Even though in sign magnitude form we have a provision to represent minus 0 and plus 0, in reality minus 0 and plus 0 have got no significance. Minus 0 and plus 0 should be counted only once. So now if you see here, we have 3 digits here, we have 3 digit here, and one more digit here. So overall there are 7 distinct digits. Okay, 7 distinct means those digits which are non-repeated. Okay, so minus 0 and 0 are repeated twice but should be counted only once, because we believe that there is nothing called as minus 0 and plus 0. So we have 7 digits here, we have 8 here. So if you remember, this is nothing but x, that is total number of distinct digits using 2's complement method, and this is y, that is number of distinct digits represented with sign magnitude form. So here x minus y, if you do, you'll get answer as 1. And again, you take any example, I have taken an equal to 3, you can start with an equal to 4, you will see that always x minus y results in 1. So finally we have answer as 1. I'm sure you understood the properties of 1's complement and 2's complement method. Also you have understood this problem. Thank you.